Okay, so I need to start here because this is the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning, and it kind of set the tone for my whole day. There's a baby monkey in Japan. His name is Punch-kun, or Punch-kun, depending on how committed you are to the Japanese pronunciation. And he is 7 months old, and his mom abandoned him when he was born. In July, during a heat wave, the keepers at Ichikawa City Zoo had to rescue him and raise him by hand. And the thing is, baby macaques, they need something to cling to, like physically. It's how they build muscle, it's how they get security. So the zookeepers tried rolled up towels. They tried different stuffed animals. And eventually they found the one. An IKEA orangutan plushie, bug-eyed, fluffy. Bigger than Punch himself, $20 at any IKEA near you. And Punch has not let go since. He drags it across the enclosure. He eats beside it. He curls around it to sleep. People started filming him in January, and by February 5th, when the zoo posted his backstory online, it just detonated. Millions of views. The hashtag #HangInTherePunch went viral worldwide. Huge lines formed outside the zoo, which the zoo said was, quote, unprecedented. They actually apologized for the delays getting in, because of the monkey, because everyone needed to see the monkey. And then IKEA got involved. IKEA Japan's CEO went to the zoo in person and donated 33 stuffed animals to Punch, and the IKEA orangutan, his specific model, sold out. People are buying the emotional support monkey's emotional support toy. This is the economy now, and I accept it. The update today is that Punch is slowly starting to make friends with the other macaques. He gets scolded, he gets dragged, and then he runs back to his plushie. But the zookeepers say that's normal. That's how social hierarchy works for them. And they wrote in a statement, and I love this. They said, while Punch is scolded, he shows resilience and mental strength. They are describing a 7-month-old monkey like he's a LinkedIn success story, and it's somehow the most wholesome thing I've ever read. Okay, very different energy, but stay with me. Georgia. The state legislature, a bipartisan group of lawmakers, has introduced House Bill 1013, which would designate lemon pepper as the official state chicken wing flavor of Georgia. The bill was introduced by State Representative Eric Bell from Jonesboro. Bipartisan. Multiple co-sponsors. It went to the House Special Rules Committee this past Wednesday. They sat in a room at the Capitol and debated lemon pepper wings. This is democracy. And look, the bill actually makes a case, like a real case. It says that lemon pepper wings have become a, quote, cultural and culinary phenomenon, tied specifically to Georgia. It cites J.R. Cricket's at the Atlanta restaurant that introduced chicken wings to Georgia back in 1982. It cites the NBA bubble when former Hawks player Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper Lou, broke protocol to sneak out and get wings at a club in Atlanta, and it became international news. He later trademarked the name. That's in the bill. Congressional record. Lou Williams eating wings is in a bill. It also cites, and I'm not paraphrasing here, lyrics from Rick Ross, Gucci Mane, and Waka Flocka Flame as evidence of the flavor's cultural significance. Waka Flocka is cited in legislation. The bill literally includes a Waka Flocka quote comparing lemon pepper wings to apples in New York. That's the level we're operating at. The sponsor said, and this is my favorite part, he personally prefers the honey hot lemon pepper version. He put that on record, his preference, at the Capitol. And the mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens, has reportedly described himself as a lemon pepper head. I feel like that's the kind of thing that unites people. Just saying. All right, this one's been circulating for a couple of weeks, but it keeps finding new audiences. And I think there's a reason for that, because every time someone hears it for the first time, their face does a thing. And I want to do that to you. A man named Víctor Calderón was flying from Los Angeles to Managua, Nicaragua. He had a layover in Houston. That leg of the flight was supposed to take 3 hours and 15 minutes. 6 hours in, he's still in the air. Víctor asks a flight attendant why it's taking so long to get to Houston. She tells him. He's on his way to Tokyo. He was on United Flight 39, heading to Haneda Airport, across the Pacific Ocean, in Japan, which is not Houston, which is not Nicaragua. His luggage, meanwhile, was perfectly on its way to Managua, doing just fine, completely unbothered. United confirmed the whole thing. They said, and this is a quote from their spokesperson, "We always advise customers to monitor the signs at the gate and boarding announcements to make sure the aircraft they board is going to their intended destination." The airline let this man board a flight to Japan, and then they said, "Check the signs, buddy." That's their response. Incredible. He had to stay 2 nights in Tokyo waiting for them to sort it out. Out of pocket. Then fly back to LA. Then start the whole Nicaragua trip from scratch. The full delay? 48 hours. And United's first offer of compensation? $300 in travel credit. On a ticket that cost him $655. They sent this man to Japan and offered him less than half his ticket price. Telemundo ran the story. Then suddenly United found $1,000. And look, I know people online were debating whose fault this is, and both sides have points. But regardless, I need to get to, because someone on Reddit in the r/United Airlines thread posted about Victor's situation, and one of the top comments it just cut through everything. The comment just says, "I'd love to go to Japan by mistake." And there are like 800 replies agreeing. Nobody's worried about Victor. Victor went to Japan. Victor got to see Haneda. Maybe he had ramen. We all want to go to Japan by mistake. That's the comment. That's the internet. Okay. I do this thing. I like finding a story that America is just not seeing. That's slipping by because the algorithm doesn't care about it. And today's one is incredible. Nobody is talking about this. A group of undergraduate archaeology students at the University of Cambridge went on what was supposed to be a routine training dig at Wandleberry Country Park, just outside the city, 3 miles south, popular spot for family day trips and school visits. They were expecting pottery shards, maybe some medieval coins, normal training dig stuff. One of the students described their biggest find before the dig really got going. She said, "Before we uncovered the first remains, our best find was a 1960s Smarties lid. A candy wrapper. That was the highlight. And then they found a pit. An execution pit. Probably 900 years old. Possibly Viking era. 10 skulls. A stack of legs. A cluster of heads with no bodies. 4 complete skeletons, some with their arms positioned like they'd been tied. Young men. All of them. Thrown in there without care. Without ritual. Dumped. In a park where children go on school trips. The lead archaeologist, Dr. Oscar Aldred, has been doing this for 30 years. His quote about the find, "I've never found anything quite like this before." The BBC put it in an episode of their show, Digging for Britain. Cambridge University announced it earlier this month. And the most haunting part. There was one man in the pit, young, aged 17 to 24 years old, who would have been 6'5". At a time when the average man was 5'6", he would have looked enormous, like a giant. He was thrown face down, and he had a hole in his skull, a healed hole from what researchers believe was brain surgery, ancient trepanation. He had surgery on his skull, he survived it, and then ended up in that pit. Someone carved his skull open to save his life, and then he died violently before he was 25, 1,000 years ago. And some college students found him while looking for old candy wrappers. That's the story no one's talking about, and I think it deserves a minute. And I want to end on something that I find not offensive exactly, but deeply, specifically annoying, in a funny way. There is a town in England, Tewkesbury. It's in the Cotswolds. Beautiful place. Rolling hills, stone buildings, quaint little alleys. Over 5 million people visit the Cotswolds for day trips every single year. And Tewkesbury has a problem. The locals are leaving their trash cans on the street after garbage collection, which, to be clear, is what people do. Garbage day happens, you put the bin out, life moves on, but not in Tewkesbury. Because tourists, 5 million a year, they want to take Instagram photos, and the bins are ruining the shot. The Tewkesbury Civic Society literally called this bin blight. They submitted a formal proposal, there were committee meetings, and on February 10th, a working group submitted a 6-month pilot plan to start finding residents who leave their trash cans out too long after collection. The Civic Society chair said visitors were complaining that bins were appearing in the background of their photos. The bins are in the photos. That's the crisis. Residents of this town who live there, who pay council tax, who have to actually take the bins out, they might get fined because a tourist from somewhere else couldn't frame their shot correctly. And someone on social media responded to the story by asking, where else are they supposed to go? No one has answered this question. The proposal did not include a solution for that. The bins just need to stop existing in public, apparently, and that's on the residents to figure out. I love this story because it perfectly captures something that I don't even have a word for. Like, the place is so beautiful that people come to photograph it. In the act of those people coming, it has now created bureaucratic pressure on the people who actually live there to adjust their daily lives so that the visitors get a cleaner Instagram. At some point, the town stops being a town and becomes a backdrop. And I don't know, that feels like something. Anyway, that's what I found today. Baby monkey in Japan, who's doing a little better. A bipartisan wing bill in Georgia. A man who accidentally took a scenic detour to Asia. A 1,000-year-old execution pit found by kids who started the day looking for candy wrappers. And England, very sincerely, trying to outlaw visible trash cans. It was a lot. It's always a lot. Go be good to someone today.